guys, guess what I have? I've got some new Yamaha parts for my outboard. I've got a sacrificial anode here. Need to go install because mine's getting worn out. I've got, I forgot what that was. Oh yeah, new fuel pump, new water pump assembly, carb kits, 3 of them, and various washers and stuff that I think I'm going to need. And this, you probably can't see it inside here. This little cup here that where my fuel strainer is. Even though I have an external fuel filter, this little cup is looking kind of funky, so I decided to go ahead and replace it and keep the other one as a spare. And if anybody knows anything about Yamaha 2-stroke 90 outboards, you always need a spare one of these because they go bad. Plus, I bought Deb a new reel, and she's going to be excited about that. It's a new Stradic C14 Plus 2500. We're going to put it on her castaway rod, which I cut off for her already, but don't tell her I did it yet. And we cut this much off her castaway. She was whining about it, so I decided to go ahead and do it. And I got a bag of Academy stuff, and we'll get into that later. But right now, I'm going to go start and replace this fuel pump. Don't really need it. I could have rebuilt it, but I said, heck, let's replace and keep the other one as a spare. So that's where I am right now. Let's see how it goes. Alright, hope you can see that right there. That's the little fuel pump. And my guess is, hope you can see this in this light, is take off these 2 bolts, pull it off, pull these off, pull that off, and start a new one. Probably put a little bit in it. And I'm going to replace this right here, this little canister. Right there, it's getting kind of funky. I'm afraid it's going to crack. It just unscrews from the bottom. So we're going to get that done too. So let's get on it. Okay, there's the fuel pump. It's off by these 2 screws. It goes this way. What I did was I turned it around. You see that little hole right there? If you pump the primer bulb and fuel comes out of that hole right there, then your fuel pump's not working properly. Now you can rebuild them. This one's didn't leak, but you know what? I've got it off. I've got a brand new one. I'll put this one in my spare parts box, and I'm going to go ahead and put the brand new fuel pump on. But that's a little test I've learned about it, and it's got little check valves in here, and it's got a diaphragm. It's just really not a whole lot to it, but you know what? That's pretty good insurance. Just go on and put a new one on. This one does work. It's doing fine. My motor's kind of running a little funky, but I think I know what it is, and it's not the fuel pump. But I decided to change it anyway. So let's get that put back on. Okay, got the fuel pump on, replaced the little plastic thing. I didn't like it. Mine was getting kind of funky, and the plastic nut part on the bottom was a little boogered up. You only need to hand tighten those guys. Just get them hand good and snug with you. Make sure your O-ring's up there in the top, up in here. And I got pressure on it. I pumped up the bulb, and I don't see any leaks. I haven't run it yet, but we'll do that tomorrow sometime. All right, on to the next problem. We'll go deal with that, and I'll be back. Look what Deb brought me. God, I can't get through anything without her bringing me food. I swear she's trying to make me fat. Okay, we're going to take a little break from working on the boat, and then I'll come back stronger than ever. Bye. Okay. Here's my new sacrificial anode for the Yamaha 90 2-stroke. Here's the old one. It's not in too bad a shape. It's not eating up too bad. It's just kind of cruddy. I could probably scrape it off and it would work fine. But you know what? I've already got the new one. And while I don't like to waste money, I'm not going to throw this away. I'm going to go ahead and put it on. This protects your engine a little bit. There's this and then the trim tab. They're just basically sacrificial metals from electrolysis. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I should know that. I studied electrical engineering in college. Anyway, it keeps your metals from your good components in your engine from being attacked by the salt water, the interaction with the salt water, electrical current, and the grounding, and that type of thing. Anyway, I'm going to go put this on. It takes about 2 minutes, 2 bolts. Thanks. Okay, got the carb kits in, got the new needles in, and all the gaskets and everything's cleaned out, all the jets cleaned out. The pilot screws on the side are set to factory specs. I noticed they were out a little bit too much on a couple of them, which means it was compensating for something. We'll find that out when we tune it up, when we go to run it. And I just stuck the O-rings here on these carburetors. And if you'll notice, right here, I guess I shouldn't use that. Right here, there's a little indentation. There are 4 of them for that O-ring to stick into, so you got to make sure you have those down good and tight. I'm going to let them sit for a little while before I try to put them on, because we don't want this popping out, because what will happen is it will start sucking air, and that's a good way to stick a piston. You do not want to suck air more than necessary anyway. More air than it wants, than it's supposed to have on a 2-stroke. It'll run too lean, and you basically will be looking at a top end job. Anyway, I'm going to let those set for a little bit, and then I'm going to go outside and put them on. Possibly one at a time, maybe not. Maybe I can lay them all in there at the same time. We'll see. Okay, got the carbs back on. Got the little balancing, I guess that's a little balancing hose there back on. Put this back on. It controls the butterflies. It just pops off both 3 places. Like I said earlier, I got the air screws set at factory specs, which I'm sure they'll need to be tuned a little bit after it warms up. So we'll do a little while. And let me go right to the other side here. Okay, this is the port side of the engine, and I've got my little ground wire to my little thermal choke thing. I forgot what they call it. It's basically a thermal choke. Hook back up to that screw right down there, if you can see it. Got my fuel lines all hooked up. A little positive wire to the thermal choke mechanism. Goes around the other side. Goes through here. Goes around to the other side. As I said earlier, I've got the fuel pump, new fuel pump on it. Got the little plastic thingy right here on it. Air box is put back on it. New gaskets, new seats. Well, I didn't put seats in, I put needles. But I couldn't find the right wrench. I know it's a 10mm wrench, but I have a little small socket that will grind in there. I mean, it would fit in there. That's been ground off, but I couldn't find it. But the seats looked okay. The needles, the little rubber on the needles and the float bows looked just a little bit dented. And everything's hooked back up. Got that balancing line hooked back up. And I think we're ready to go, guys. We'll see.